What's up, everybody? YouTube. Well, I've been looking at a lot of the stuff that people have been pulling up about Miss Kirk's background and spouses creating tragedies and making money off of it is something we've been seeing. Um, well, even like the Casey Anthony situation, that wasn't a spouse, but that shows you what some of these women will do just to get attention and fame. Now, do I believe she was doing that when she first did what she did to her child? No. She was just like my ex. She was more worried about partying. But my ex did it a lot slyer. She actually acted in front of everybody like she actually wanted to be a mother. Way better than Casey Anthony did. But she still, in the end, showed her true colors because, like I said, nothing adds up about what she said. Nothing adds up about what the cops said. What adds up is what the kids said to the facts of what happened. And you can pretty much say that that video is like their last testimony before they passed. Like, uh, pretty much their last words. They were crying for help, and their dad was fighting the police to pay attention. And the reason why the police wouldn't listen is because she manipulated them with lies, just like Jen and, well, Bethany couldn't. She was too afraid that it would expose her. But these two, they live their lie, and they will live and breathe it. But the problem is they've already messed up. And that's why they keep changing groups of people. The only reason why Jen hasn't changed her group, which she was about to, because her husband was starting to notice what I was talking about. Oh, yeah, there's going to be a lot of discussions between those two. Oh, it did piss me off because people were acting like just because these women were talking that they automatically were telling the truth. And that's not true. Seriously, just once, I would like somebody to actually ask them to give them medical records that proves everything that they're saying. And I guarantee you, sorry about that. I guarantee you, you're going to find out that they are 100% lying. Just like it seems like Miss Kirk is. This is why I told people to look up BPD. And it's funny because the definition I have screenshotted from a few years ago has changed on Google. And Google is not automatically correct all the time. It is changed and updated by people. Some of it is opinions, some of it is theories, some of it is just all out lies. Because Google is controlled by the media machine. But yeah, they're all worser forms of bipolar. They come from going through depression and traumatic things as young child. Yeah, she lied about being at work that night. She wasn't at work that night. There's no way she got off work and made it home an hour before they closed when she would have at least another hour after that before she could actually leave the store. See, if they close at 10, which they do, um, she's not getting out of there until 10:30, 11. And then with her walk home, she's not getting home. Even if she got a ride home, she's not getting home until at least 10:45, 11 o'clock, maybe a little after 11, depending on what she had to do that night. Because my mom was assistant manager for Dollar General too, not too long ago. Same company. And there was times she closed and she wouldn't be home until 10:30 or 11 because they close at 10. So somehow she was home supposedly by 9 and saying that, you know, they hadn't showed up yet. Well, see, your mom always brought them home right as you were getting home. I remember that. So why would she that night be a half an hour late? Something happened before that accident. Uh, you, she also needs to explain how David knew about something that none of the kids knew about. Because the only person I told about it was Tiffany, which was their mother. And that was what David was upset about that night just before this incident happened. This is what I mean. You guys got to keep up. They manipulated this boy into getting mad and doing something in that car. Then they covered it up by chasing down the only truck that was on the road. And it's pretty funny. The cops say, even in their report, that a neighbor told them that they had removed a tire. The whole situation is on video. There's no neighbor removing a tire. There's nothing in the road. There's not even a cat or any type of animal that comes up to the edge of the road and runs away. And it also doesn't explain why the traffic pattern happened the way it did. It doesn't. It doesn't explain anything that you see in the video at all. That's why they won't release the video. And now supposedly it has went missing. Imagine that. Oh yeah, they hate me because my stepdad is friends with them, and my nephew Brian, which is my stepdad's golden boy, because it's his grandson. Yeah, they all were in on it, and pretty funny. He was the one trying to poke around for information right after the kids passed. He came to me right to my face and for some odd reason and was asking me what I was planning on doing. I mean, out of the blue. And I told him I didn't know. And he's like, come on, you got to tell me. And kept trying to get it out of me. And I told him right to his face, I don't know. I said, well, whoever is responsible for this will get justice. That's what's going to happen. And after that, man, there was all kinds of manipulation done. And his family, dude, they know he's a lying, manipulating piece of shit. But, dude, all he's got to do is go to them and start talking. And next thing you know, he's automatically right. Yeah, they don't verify anything. Yeah, this is the same boy that robbed my parents, robbed his dad's parents, which would be, my stepdad's ex-wife, robbed their neighbor, robbed their other neighbor, went to jail for 5 years for it because the family couldn't talk the one neighbor out of not pressing charges. Then that guy ends up dying mysteriously shortly after Brian goes to jail. Isn't that funny? That's what I mean. This is what happens when supposedly the good old boys cover for piece of shit people just because of who their bloodline is. And yes, I know that's exactly what's going on. It's also why Tiffany wanted me here, because she knew what she was doing. She knew she was going to manipulate these people. She knew she had it in the bag before she pushed and twisted everything to make sure we landed here. And she also knew my brother was back from the army. Imagine that. Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous. I know it sounds all crazy and twisted. That's exactly what she wanted. That way, people get pissed off, fed up, and there's a lot of guessing going on or assuming. But the thing is the cops didn't even press her. The cops didn't find it funny that she didn't want David or her mother interrogated. They also didn't find it funny that the people that were found guilty for this accident lived with her when she received all the money. And David was taken as an innocent passenger when he was not an innocent passenger. And his mother knows that. She was the one that when he got back home from the bullshit she tried to start to do other things, which is what got David into acting the way he was. He told everybody in those places and his rehabilitative foster home that he couldn't wait to get home to his siblings. Well, he was kind of telling the truth on that. It wasn't for a loving reason like he was trying to make everybody believe. He tried to rip his brother's arm off. He tried to break his sister's back. He tried to drown his sister twice for the stupidest of reasons. And anytime I would threaten him with doing anything or went to, call the people, she would start fighting with me. And that is the reason she actually moved out. Because technically, me and her were already broke up since that February of 2017 when she was caught setting up a bar date with her best friend's husband behind my back. See, if it was innocent and they were just friends, which I already know it's not because he already told me he does that very thing to sleep with women that have kids and a relationship. He does it behind his wife's back. I slowly found out that they were all swingers. That's why his wife never really got mad at him for it or divorced him. And they did end up breaking up and getting divorced, but it wasn't because of that. It's because his wife was secretly a gold digger just like Tiff. That's why she was allowing the swingers stuff, because she could always go to court and deny that she gave him permission. And then there you go. She's got him dead to rights. And that's exactly basically what she did. Yeah. Tiff was doing the same thing. Her friends were doing the same thing. Her cousins were doing the same thing. Her cousin Sam did the same thing to her ex fiance and still lives with him even though he's her ex. because she runs the roads messing with gangsters and doing dumb shit and tries to act like everybody else is the problem except for her. When she's the one running around getting multiple strange men to pay for her bills, be around her kids, and everything you could imagine. Yeah, she's a fucking nut job. I see why her family's like that. They're just fucking crazy. A lot of people think that this is a joke. This ain't no joke. I've never cheated. I've never lusted after another girl. I've never had those types of thoughts in my head. Ever. Women have always had to push me for those things. And I believe that's why Tiffany came up with those. She wanted kids and marriage and all that and tried to act so happy and giddy and blah, 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 is to trick me into marriage and giving her kids because she knew I wasn't going to be sexually active unless we were definitely going to be serious. And of course, when we first met, she made a couple of mistakes. Well, did a couple of things that were wrong. And I let them go because we were new. And I did think that they were just her not knowing what, you know, she had. Slowly but surely, I found out she didn't give a fuck what she had. She was going to come out looking like the one that did right, just like Jen did, by using her mouth. Even though this girl lied her ass off the whole fucking time. Just like Bethany, dude. Everybody in the fucking town knew something was up, especially when me and her broke up and she ends up with a brand new fucking Dodge Avenger, which is a beautiful, you know, pretty decently expensive Chrysler car at the time. And where did her stepdad work? Chrysler. What did she do? She dropped charges. Yeah, they bribed her, just like he did with his other stepdaughters. Yeah, he had a history of three different stepdaughters before her coming forward and saying this. And I wouldn't have believed it was completely true until the one day that me and her were broke up and Kyle was at her house and she was telling me when I met her at the park to drop stuff off for Kyle that my brother and my friend Josh had hit her up trying to get her to go out to a party and she didn't know if she should go. And I said, well, it's up to you, but you know what they're going to do. I said, I don't even see why you get excited when they call you up. You know what they're going to get you into. But you're a grown woman. You can make your decisions. I said, but if I were you, I wouldn't go. And she said, well, will you come hang out with me so I don't go? I said, sure. I'll come hang out with you. So basically, I had to sneak down there in the middle of the night, knock on the basement door so she knew I was there. And then she was going to come out and we were going to just hang out so they would leave her alone. Well, I get there, I go up to the basement window, and guess who is in her room making out with her? Her older stepbrother. One of the ones that she was supposed to be putting charges on. You attacked him. He didn't come at you. He came into your doorway, but you jumped on him. So I didn't know how to take that. To me, that's saying this chick is not telling me the truth. Even though this is not right on his part, she is egging it on. So I don't know what's going on with this family. Then I find out years later from one of their distant, well, not so distant, but, a cousin of their family, telling me that her dad, her real dad, was pushing her to date one of the brothers because they had money. It was a mess. And it wasn't because of me. Like I said, for some reason, I am always in the wrong place at the wrong time. These kids were set up. And I'm going to say it until the day I die. They were set up. I know nobody cares because it's a man talking. I was a great father. Everything my son David knows that is good was given to him by me. The fact that he's going into AIT, the fact that he stayed in school, that was all done by me. Nobody cares. She's out there not even paying attention to him for 2 fucking years, ends up losing 3 of them and her brother, and everybody's just like, oh, this is what I mean by women can totally fuck up and they still get a pat on the back. Now, if that was me and this stuff would have happened under my watch, I would have been in jail right now. But because I'm more responsible and safe with my kids, it never happened with me. Anybody take that into effect or account? No. 12 years with this woman. So that means I was with these kids for the majority of their life. She was only away from me for not even 2 years before this happened. It happened in May. June would have been 2 years. And what did she do? She tried to get back with me a couple times in between that, even with the one peace order that she put into effect when she left here, even though she left 2 kids with me and then got a peace order 2 weeks later. That's the whole reason why she left the 2 kids. One, they were the 2 youngest, most to take care of, gives her a 2 week break. She can just send the cops and lie, and guess what? She gets the other 2, and now I'm in trouble. And that's what she did. It also puts her on the fast track to getting housing through the state. And it pisses the state off at me. Guess what? She also doesn't have to show any evidence. Yep, she could show one conversation where we're arguing over her cheating and just one portion of it, or an angry text message from me or her. And there you go. To the judge, they're going to believe that what she's saying is true. Even though they have no context, they have no clue whether that's being said the way it is. Even though this is a hard-headed woman, that's all she understands. And she's even stated that. There's women that will tell you that, and this is why I would say on Facebook, she's setting him up, this, that, and the other, and then I'd get flagged for it, even though that's what I'm used to. Them saying that and then using it as a trap. That's why I said it. Yeah, she punched me in my face one night. One night I was with Uncle John working, and Uncle John didn't want to run me all the way home. My van was getting something done with the transmission. And I said, so what are you going to do? Oh, I'll drop you off at town and you can walk home. Well, Tiff is calling me. Uncle John's getting me to drink this wine that his buddies got. And they ended up messing with me to where I drank like 3 or 4 glasses. I was fucked up. And she's, trying to talk me back into going out with her. And I'm like, no, I don't want to. And she's like, come on, let me come and pick you up from work and we can talk on the ride home. And Uncle John heard this and he's like, yeah, let her do that so I can go home. I'm like, whatever, man. So I end up getting in her mother's car. She borrows her mother's car, which I have to put gas in, even though I would have fucking walked. Yeah, I'm going to fill your tank up. You're going to ride around and fucking do shit after you drop me off. Well, she has little David with her, and she comes and picks me up, and I'm not talking to her. I'm being quiet. And the whole way to the house. Cussing me up one side and down the other. I said, as soon as we pulled in the driveway, I was like, yeah, great talk. And she's like, see what I mean? See? And I said, what? I haven't done anything. You have. And that's when she hit me in my face. And I got out the car. And she comes around the other side. And she grabs a hold of me and smacks me in my face again. And I grabbed a hold of her arms. And that's when I started letting her have it. I said, let me tell you something. You ever fucking put your hands on me again, I will treat you like a man. You understand that? You're not going to sit here and beat on me. That's when the neighbor got into it. He's telling me to leave my own house. I'm like, dude, shut the fuck up. And then he starts hitting my fence and all that. And he's got a, cop belt on because he's a cop. And I told him to his face, I don't give a fuck that you're a cop. I was just assaulted 3 times. I didn't do anything to her but give her a piece of my mind. Shut the fuck up. Oh, I seen you. You were about to hit her. You were about to. Did I hit her? No. Was my hand raised? No. So shut the fuck up. I told her exactly what the fuck I thought and made sure my son didn't see it. Yeah, my van parked all the way down by the bottom of the fence. She's parked with the nose up towards the house. And she was already pushing and shoving on me and smacking me, which we ended up getting a little bit away from the back of the car when she started doing that because I didn't want him to see it. And I'm already getting hit. And she did that because she knows as long as you don't mess with me while I'm drinking, I'm one of the best and nicest people you ever meet. But if I'm at home comfortable and I decided to drink that night and you decide to piss me off, I will try and get away from you. I won't try and fight. I won't try and argue. I'll try and get away. But if you are to hit me, all hell's going to break loose. And she knew that. This is what I mean. This is how she would get me into positions, set me up, and then try to walk away looking like the innocent one. She did the same thing with these kids, just in a bigger scale. One day y'all are gonna, it's gonna click. But see, that's the thing. Most people nowadays don't even pay attention like they used to. They're all worried about their own shit. And rightfully so. Look at how the world's going. And yeah, I did try to turn the internet and all that to get help because the cops were not doing their job at all. And as you see with all the other incidents going on, what are cops doing to actually preserve life? Don't worry, I'll wait. They're not. They're acting like they're on vacation. They're acting like, oops, I didn't see that. Oops, I don't know how to do what my badge says I'm supposed to do. Yeah, they're doing it on purpose. They're pissed off because at one time, when the president was Biden and Obama, they were screaming, defund the police. So the police are pissed off at everybody. And yeah, I did get on Facebook and said, yep, some of them need to be defunded. Other ones need to keep their job because they're good cops. Do you think they paid attention to that part? No. This is what I mean by they should not be wearing that badge if they're going to let personal things that are said about them piss them off to where they don't do their job. Because no matter what is said, you still have a job to do. And you need to do it correctly. Getting pissed off and using your authority to put somebody in jail or ignore situations because you don't like them personally means you shouldn't be a cop. See, cases can be dismissed if a judge does that. And I've seen plenty of cases where the cop did not like the person, didn't even give them a chance to prove their innocence. So they're just lucky those people weren't able to find a way to get the right people to notice. Oh yeah, Jen. I had everything set up to nail your ass completely. You're lucky you didn't take that to any other court dates. I, I was gonna have everything subpoenaed. Yep, every one of your lies would have been exposed right then and there. And yes, I would have bought that court recording right away. You're a piece of shit. I don't care that you have a new marriage. I was hoping you would find somebody that would turn your ass around, not sit there and baby your ass, because that's what your dad did. And I understand why he did what he did, because he was your dad. And he felt bad for his daughter. But his daughter knew that and used it against him. Didn't you, you little bitch? Yeah, you did. Your dad's a fucking saint. You're an asshole.